The rules, these the rules. So if you put your name in the draft, I don't care if you're from Russia and you stay in the draft, you can't play college basketball. There aren't going to be any high school kids who, other than dumb people like me, are going to recruit high school kids. I get so much satisfaction out of coaching young kids and seeing them grow and make it and their family life changes that I'm going to keep doing it. But why would anybody else, if you can get NBA players, G League players, guys that are 28 years old, guys from Europe, do we really know their transcript? Do we have somebody over there? Do we really know their birth certificate? Again, real simple. You got 5 years to play 4.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Produced by Colton Little.
And all of a sudden, they'll start talking like this.
With Ty Richardson.
TV's in the living room since I don't live with a woman.
Hold on. This is The Morning Rush.
Just to clarify on that statement you heard in our open, 2 TVs here in the living room, which I think is a hard ask for many of our married listeners.
Is it a horizontal setup? Is it one on top of the other, or is it side to side? What do you think?
Yes, yeah. one on top of the other. Yeah. The only married friend I know that has the horizontal setup, the argument that he made, and it's accurate, is we're never going to fight about what to watch. And I don't understand why more couples don't have a setup. Now, his in-laws said that it looks like a sports bar. This kid is very staunch in his beliefs. He's very bullish, and he got his way. And guess what, Colton? They never fight. But we kind of want to hear your fights. We kind of want to hear your anger this morning on the final What's Your Beef Wednesday of 2025. Crazy that it's gone by. One of my initial beefs here this morning is What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, is how fast this day has flown by. I remember December 31st, 2024. I was at my friend's wedding, and I had back-to-back New Year's weddings, which, by the way, are great. Anyone that hates on a New Year's wedding is just off their rocker. New Year's weddings are fantastic, and now we're here. It's flown by. Tommy's 50 years old today. Happy birthday. It's crazy. He's at the half-a-century mark. So we got a lot to get into this morning outside your beefs. What's Your Beef Wednesday? Richard's Country Meat Market brings it to you every single week on the Morning Rush. Stop by and saw Audrey, Chris, and Richard a week ago. I had to get some of their hot sauce. Again, there's no better hot sauce than at Richard's Country Meat Market. And that's people know them for their steaks, their burgers, their kebabs, but they have a huge supply of various things at Richard's Country Meat Market. And whether it's cooking in winter, summer, spring, or fall, it is always a good idea to stop at Richard's Country Meat Market. Give them a call at 479-443-0000. That's Richard's Country Meat Market. You can check them out online, richardscountrymeatmarket.com. Just east off College and Rolling Hills Drive off 3042 North Market Avenue. Had to show my dad where it was. He's heard us talking about it for a while when they're up visiting our bonus sisters the other day. So if you haven't been, especially if you're a Fayetteville or Northwest Arkansas resident, you need to check it out. Hey, Ryan in Prairie Grove says that's why I hate TV in low places. That's why, to the initial TV comment. He B in Clarksville says, I hate that he has a TV in his bedroom, texting us in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. He falls asleep before her and she leaves it on, and he wakes up to a jump scare scene. Do you fall asleep to the television, Colton?
I can fall asleep to the sound of the TV going. I do need a little bit of noise sometimes. It can't be like deafeningly quiet. I definitely need a little bit of something, either the fan. Luckily now I'm surrounded by noise machines and air filters because I have the 4-month-old. So I've got a little bit of sound to help me fall asleep, but the TV doesn't bother me. Unless it's super, like if it's like one of those big mega bright TVs, like a massive 75-inch TV, maybe that's a little too much light, but the sound, I can sleep through that.
You mentioned not being bothered necessarily or whatever you're being bothered by. John Calipari bothered by how college sports is right now, and we touched on this a little bit yesterday, and you heard that in our open this morning. Well, his comments, along with Matt Painter, Hall of Famer, Mark Few, Hall of Famer, Tom Izzo, Hall of Famer. There's been a lot of big-time college basketball coaches that have voiced their disapproval on a bunch of things. And we had questions. Manny Watkins had a question on the television broadcast. We had questions. Can guys come back to school? Well, the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, has put out this statement. The NCAA has not and will not grant eligibility to any prospective or returning student athletes who have signed an NBA contract, including a two-way contract. He goes on to get more, it's like lawyer speak almost, but what I took away in the kind of the finality of his statement was there's all these lawsuits that are going against us and stuff, and they're undermining what we've tried to construct and do for a number of different years. One of those being like Diego Pavia. That's one that stands out. There's ones, like I see eligibility cases, and I'm like, okay, this is cut and dry. This kid's getting another year, and he doesn't. And then I see one that's like, there's no way this kid's going to play, and then he plays. So I don't know how, again, I don't know how they do it in Indianapolis. I think that's still where the NCAA is headquartered, but this has been a beef of many college basketball coaches, and his statement does not necessarily resolve and fix everything that's wrong with college sports. And we're in basketball season. I know we're in postseason football in college, but really basketball season starts this weekend with the SEC beginning and everything else. And you've had coaches kind of round out the year with some very, very concrete statements about how they feel. But I just thought that was interesting that you got enough out of a press conference this week, in addition to some other of Cal's friends, that NCAA president's like, I better say something.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually part of my beef this morning, Ty. And I know it's just I need Coach Cal to get a little bit more. I need some new material, okay, from the comedy routine. Whenever you get up there and you're making a point like you do from time to time, because when you say the stuff about how nobody's listening to me, my dog doesn't listen, my wife has her AirPods in, that's all very funny. It is humorous, but it's very tired and dry when the next day the NCAA president has to come out and say, "Hey, everything's okay. We're fine. This is what's going on." Because obviously, someone like Coach Cal, all the videos he got yesterday, Ty, that probably did 2, 3, 4, 5 million impressions with all the different, websites that were reposting it, because Coach Cal is an extremely authoritative voice when it comes to not only college basketball, but college sports as a whole, because of his prowess as a recruiter. Nobody is known for being a recruiter in their, in their aspect of college sports, probably better than Cal. He has always gotten the best players, and so people listen to him because he genuinely has something positive, something worthwhile to listen to. And when he called out the NCAA yesterday about being afraid of lawsuits, he's absolutely right. And this comes out just in the face of that only a few, hours later or so. And the NCAA is getting closer and closer every day to being simply just a thing of the past. Just a blue logo with white letters that, pasted over everywhere. It's literally going to become nothing, because big, massive conferences like the SEC and like the Big Ten can probably figure out a way to finagle their way into having their own set of rules and their own set of thing, and playing the game with their own ball. They don't have to listen to the NCAA anymore. And as entertaining and as fun as that would be, you think there's lawlessness now. Wait till that happens, and that's closer every single day.
Yeah, you can get in your beefs here this morning. Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Reminder, it's the final day of the 31 days of deals going on right now. Huge savings on new and pre-owned vehicles at the Lewis Automotive Group. So outside of fielding your beefs this morning, we've got some college football stories to get into. I want to talk about Arkansas, the coming and goings. Richard Davenport's going to join us. Maybe what you're doing tonight, as well as we conclude the final day of 2026. Plus, the SEC looks like it's in trouble from a postseason standpoint. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, what it looks like. But I saw, and I know you've listened to this audio. When you think about like pain that Arkansas fans have gone through, we've gone through as a fan base, it dwindles in comparison to Indiana football fans. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, this is I've heard it said both ways. It's like the first or second most losing program of all time. I think they have the most losses in the history of college football, now on the brink of maybe playing for a national championship in a few weeks, depending on how this game goes tomorrow in Pasadena. And I wanted to get into kind of college football and where we're at right now this morning.
I told my wife and I told my son and my daughter, I said, if we ever go to the Rose Bowl and I've already passed away, I want you to take my ashes, buy a seat, buy a program, put the program on the seat, put my ashes on the seat, and I'll be there at the Rose Bowl. To see IU play in the Rose Bowl is really a dream come true, and I'm still pinching myself. I'm very excited. I'm going to take my son and my daughter and my two oldest grandsons that are 8 and 7 to be involved with being a fan of Indiana football for as many years as I have. It's not always been easy. There have been 55 years where we did not have a winning record.
This is the opening drive.
55 years.
Over half a century, almost as many years or more, slightly more years than Tommy's birth years as of today.
Those Liberty Bowls aren't too shabby now. Thinking about it that way.
Tonight, you've got Miami and Ohio State, a rematch of the 2002 National Championship, which was played in 2003. I know Miami fans still salty about that. Oregon and Texas Tech tomorrow, Alabama and Indiana tomorrow, Mississippi, Ole Miss, and Georgia tomorrow. You had mentioned a little bit of this yesterday, but with so many brands involved, like when you think about college football brands, Ohio State, Miami, Alabama, Georgia, those are 4 massive. Indiana definitely not, but it's awesome to see what they've done. Oregon's come on as of late. Texas Tech's had some good years. And Ole Miss, you think about the success that Lane Kiffin has brought to that program the last 5 years. But I just kind of thought, okay, Dallas, Miami, Pasadena, and New Orleans, like all these games will be sold out. I was wrong. You can get in actually kind of cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State and Miami at the Cotton Bowl, you can get in for $32 in Jerry World. You can get into the Miami at Hard Rock for $50. You can get in the Rose Bowl for $117. You can get into Sugar Bowl. This is a little more expensive, but it's $219. Like these are quarterfinal games. The reason I bring this up is because we've seen, despite obvious wrongdoings within college football that we believe are messing up the sport, NIL running rampant, transfer portal all over the place. There's other factors, but the sport has grown from a television standpoint more than it ever has. Mm-hmm. But attendance, you don't feel that way, right? Like their attendance has dwindled in Fayetteville because our team stunk last year. There's different. If they start winning again, I think it'll pick back up. I think that's just common sense. But you've got places all over the country that are downsizing professionally and collegiately. You think about ticket prices, rising costs, more suites. You're like pricing out the common fan or whatever. I saw a 70-inch TV at Walmart for $298. Well, that's awesome. Like you can watch the HD, the quality now of the television broadcast is so much better. And then in addition to that, you've got all these more trips. Like you think about if you're a Miami fan, like going to College Station and now going to Dallas, like you've got 4 games potentially. You can't go to all of them unless you're a gazillionaire. It just doesn't. You have to pick. And so, like, did you want to go to College Station and watch an upset last weekend, or do you want to go to Dallas and maybe see this team get revenge on the Buckeyes from years ago? So all this like combination of more games in the playoff, the rising costs and like the less middle class and less like just the common fan, I think we're going to be heading at some point to an attendance problem. Mm-hmm. I think that's where the direction we're headed. I'm not talking about eyes on. I'm not talking about people's interest in the sport, which in some cases it's dwindled because your team's not any good. I maintain and will always maintain, Arkansas fans, I would not be complaining about the current state of college athletics if we were in Ole Miss's position. But we're not. We won 2 games last year. So all that combined, I think that's the direction we're heading, Colton, where you're just going to have less fans attending, not watching, attending games in years to come.
Well, I mean, BE texted in earlier, said he hates that he has a TV in his bedroom. You don't even have to wake up sometimes during bowl season, during the holidays. You don't even have to get your 2 feet and put them on the floor next to you. You can roll over, grab the remote, bang, football on your 75-inch TV. And that's funny that you mentioned that, Ty. It was what, less than $300? TVs have consistently stayed the same price as everything else has gone up in the last, 10, 15 years, at least since I've been an adult and been recognizing prices. Football is no longer a spectator sport. I'm 100% with you. It is much more comfortably enjoyed from your own home, from your couch, from your buddy's couch, at a sports bar, because the TVs are big, they turn the sound up loud. The way that football is shot and everything is done on the television broadcast these days is bar none the way that you do sports to make it appealing and entertaining for the human eye. People love it. But when you go in person, you're absolutely right. You're paying hand over fist just to elbow people to get into the stadium, to pay $15 for a watered-down beer that you stood in line and missed a fumble that your team scooped and scored on just so you could get. I think you're right, Ty. They're going to see a lot more empty stadiums. And I with the bowl thing and with the playoffs, I expect these stadiums to be mostly full, to have a lot of these passionate fans be there. Like you said, some of these tickets are not, they're really, really affordable. You can get in there at Jerry World, bring your tissues, sit up in the tip top, up there in the sky deck for $32, but you can watch your team. If you are an Ohio State grad or a Miami grad in the DFW area, you can get that happening today. There'll always be that in college football, but to really maximize doing that all year long, games of consequence, you're going to have to start making and spending a lot more money. I'm with you. I think that college football has an attendance problem right now. It's not really a problem, but it's something that they can't ignore, because eventually it'll be just like COVID, Ty. They'll be playing these games in empty stadiums.
And just a point that was made on the tickets for the Alabama and Indiana game, which you think about just its significance over the years of the Rose Bowl, it's cheaper than it was almost 20 years ago. So it's pretty wild. Now, Brennan brings up something I wanted to kind of lean into on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Dan Laney said it best last week.
I think it's just more of an indicator that the way we do playoffs in college football is messed up, right? In my opinion, we're really excited to be going to the Orange Bowl, but this game should be played at Texas Tech, right? They're the higher seeded team. We should play a week, like right after the last game. The next playoff game should be the next Saturday. The next playoff game should be the next Saturday. The next playoff game should be the next Saturday, and the championship game.
I don't think I've ever agreed with Dan Lanning more. If you want to help strengthen attendance, like the television numbers are always going to be there, in my opinion, when you have the brands matched up against each other. You've got to get rid of the bowl games post first round of the college football playoff and just make them like the NFL playoffs. If you want to have the national championship, in fact, you shouldn't do that at home venue. That would just be weird. But like the national championship to rotate between the bowls, that's fine. Slap the sponsor on wherever these games are. But that to me would help increase the attendance. And I just think that's more like, what's more college football? When you think about last weekend, the atmospheres in Oxford and College Station, and just what it was in Oregon, and then who's the other in Norman. And I know Oklahoma lost, but there was some great atmospheres, and those were against James Madison and Tulane. And the best game of the weekend was Miami and Texas A&M, even though it was a low-scored affair. I just think that's the best direction and I would think that they would help out in that. Chris texted in saying the current college football playoff is not sustainable. You're asking fans to fly across the country to the Rose Bowl and then fly across the country to the semifinal in 10 days, and the championship game after that. Again, Chris, you're right. We don't have unlimited funds. It's just not. It's not reality. For example, we're this basketball team. We expect to be in the NCAA tournament, and I'm kind of I always get my calendar ready for next year. And I buddies texting me, it's like, hey, what's this look like? What's this look like? And they're like, well, I'm saving up for the Final Four. And I was like, well, I don't know if this is a Final Four team. And it's like, well, I can only go to one of these things. And I was like, I get it. Like, you just can't go to every single weekend if you're a Texas Tech fan, if you're an Oregon, all these teams. So it's easier from a cost standpoint to do in these college football towns, at least in my opinion. I don't think it would be as as expensive as some of these hot, like Miami and Vegas and some of these other places, but that's just kind of where I stand on that. All right, that's your opening drive this morning, brought to you by the Fence Man. We'll be back with our Fence Man Friday picks in 2026. I know Sean and the team have had an awesome 2025. You can give him a call at 479-72-3936 for residential, commercial, and high security. They do automatic gates. If you need financing, they can help you out with that too with 18th month financing available. Go to thefencemanar.com. That's thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. Hog update coming up, some comings and goings with Arkansas football. I know that the transfer portal is going to heat some things up in just a few days. This Friday is when it officially opens. Guys can declare and say they're not. One more college football note that you had on a rundown. Is Clemson going to go back to what it was in 2011 to 2014? Is Chad Morris going to be the OC for Dabo Swinney, who might be in his swan song this next year?
Yeah. So this past season, the murmurs about Dabo Swinney were obviously going off the charts. Everybody thought he's lost it. Doesn't have the same type of edge. He doesn't have what he once had when they were winning championships at Clemson. And maybe you're trying to bring it all back with Chad Morris, but there is no better indicator of a man losing his mind than wanting to hire Chad Morris to coach for their college football team.
Be curious if it ends up happening. I'm going to be following that story because I think it's intriguing. I actually watched Chandler a few times this year for Virginia. He's
very
turned himself
talented.
into a good college football player, which he had a few transfers. What was it, North Texas, TCU?
North Texas, TCU.
Where he's in Virginia. I think there might be one more school in there. I forget, but that's it's pretty crazy, the world of college football nowadays. All right, Hog update coming up. Your beefs as well on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market. Final show of 2025. Ty Richardson, Colton Little continues now.
Well, he's talking about Richards Meat Market because that's my spot. And, of course, Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
I'll face with you, Ty.
Protect what matters most with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to powered automatic gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. Custom built and built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. When it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanar.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of Beef. Itswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Nothing, folks, signifies a new year like the Rose Bowl with its pageantry framed by the beautiful San Gabriel Mountains.
This is the Morning Rush.
You know what's underrated? Having choices. Like, imagine not being able to choose your Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell. Imagine you couldn't get a box of classics for $5, or Faves for $7, or a lavish feast for $9. Now with cheesy dipping burritos and creamy garlic sauce. Good thing all those choices are, like, actually real. So instead, imagine which you're gonna get. Choose your Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
We're having a good old-fashioned family Christmas at Rath Auto Resources. Now through the end of the year, get up to $6,400 off retail value on your next road-ready certified pre-owned sleigh. Inspected, reconditioned, and backed by a comprehensive warranty. Really nice. Save up to $6,400 off your next family truckster, and we'll all have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com. Hallelujah! Where's the Tylenol?
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hey, this is Damien, and I've grown up around the kitchen at DK Fit Meals. My dad, David, the owner, started this business because he knows you're busy, but you still want food that's fresh, delicious, and actually good for you. Forget the fast food compromises. We're taking customized, ready-to-eat, healthy meals made right here in Fort Smith. Whether you pre-order for the week or ordering something from our grab-and-go frozen meals, we make it easy to stick to your goals. Stop settling and start performing. Get your next week of meals sorted today. Visit dkfitmeals.com, that's dkfitmeals.com, and taste the difference fresh food makes. Fuel your life with DK Fit Meals.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Gage Wood, no hits him. Allen has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs cleans.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Go Hog.
Hey, we thought we'd do it in style heading into 2026. So you got a new Hog Update rejoin. Cole, why don't you give us an update on what's going on with the portal? What 12 guys have at least publicly declared that they're leaving Arkansas? I know that doesn't always mean they're 100% gone, but some names on this list and others you're like, who the heck is that guy?
Yeah, some of the ones you might know. Justice Boone, he was one of your he was one of your staymates there on the defensive line. He needs a 6th-year grant to continue to play, but he was a transfer in from the Florida Gators last year. Ian Gifford, also among the defensive line. AJ Green, you might remember him from what he did back in 2021. That's about the last thing he's done on a college football field, unfortunately. And it's not trying to sound like sour grapes here, bitter, but you've not lost anything that you think is dire for next season. Ian Gifford obviously is one that if you can keep within the fold, you would probably spend some money on. Unfortunately, most Razorback fans probably only know him from getting bulldozed over in the Memphis game as that kind of key play there at the end, but he's still a NFL type body, a big, someone you can plug in the middle up there, nose tackle on your defensive line. So the Razorbacks going to have to make a big splash in the portal on the defensive line. Other names you might know: Tavion Wallace, Shaq McCroy. Also,
Wallace to me is the biggest
Wallace is one that Wallace is one I think that people also might know. At linebacker, really, really talented. He was able to get some snaps this year, and Blake Cherry, Justin Logan, Keyshawn Davila as well. So there's just a handful of guys. Miguel Mitchell, Trevor Jackson, a backup quarterback who hasn't seen any playing time in major Division I college football, and then just a handful of guys. Nobody that you think right now seems to say that there's a lot of trouble within what's going on in the Silverfield regime. I think some of these guys have been shown the door, and I think some of them are just looking for other opportunities, want a clean, fresh start.
So those are the guys that are exiting. You'll hear some guys coming in or at least visiting the next few days. Hayes Fawcett of On3's reporting Grant Segrin is going to visit Arkansas on January. It hasn't been announced just yet. The funny thing is he's got an official visit to Oklahoma State.
Transferring from...
Where, Colton? Where
transferring from Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
That's funny.
It's a new coaching staff, so I get it. It's just stupid. I'm not I don't want to pile on the kid, but when you see something like this, you're just like, Jamie Christmas.
I mean, he's probably giving them the tour, like, hey, coach, this is the locker room, and he's like, no, this is the bathroom. He's wearing name tags and everything.
Now he's ranked number 2 in On3's offensive
number 2 offensive
rankings?
tackle in the portal.
Okay, so that would be a big get for Arkansas. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by Valley Family Dental. It's formerly known as Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms. They provide dental care and procedures for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman Farmer and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give you all their patients better lives with a better smile. More confident and comfortable every time. 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm is where you're going to find Valley Family Dental. They're now offering same-day crowns. Call them at 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Let them know you heard it on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard from Valley Family Dental. All right, Colton, you're a father now.
The rules bees the rules.
They are.
Have you started to think about the rules you're setting in place? I was thinking about this past weekend, like being around the grandkids, or 2 weekends ago, I guess. And it's so funny to watch my parents interact with them, paw and hug. And I think about like the rules I had when I was in high school and college and middle school. Have you started to form, like, are you going to be a strict parent? Are you going to be a lax parent?
Yeah.
Is Gabby taking over the role as the mean one? Like, what's that look like?
I paid several $100s to make sure I don't repeat the same mistakes that my parents have from my therapist. No, I'm kidding. But I do know that I'm going to do my best to make sure that there is an amount of discipline and an amount of respect that is learned from my young son about everybody, and a respect for everybody's opinion, and respect for everybody for just who they are, and then discipline to do the right thing, know what the right choice is. But they're going to make mistakes, and I'm going to do my best to not make as many as I know that I'm capable of. So I just got to make sure that I think about it really hard. But in terms of making and actually setting rules, I have no idea. Look, I've thought about, really being tough, letting him lay there and maybe cry it out one time when it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'd like to get maybe 15 minutes extra of sleep, but I just don't have it in my heart to let the little guy suffer. So as for rules, I'll probably act tough, probably do my best to be a really good, strong dad that doesn't take any guff, but I'll probably end up being a teddy bear. And as for watching your parents become grandparents, my goodness, my mom and dad have become absolute softies since all these grandkids have come along for them. So that's always interesting to see. Dad doesn't quite reach for the belt with his little granddaughters as he did for me.
You probably deserved it.
I did it every single time. I mean, there's no question about that.
That's kind of where my mind went. Hey, as we wrap up here this segment, I got to tell you about what's going on at Vici Aesthetics and Wellness with BioFusion. Listen, Tommy started something new. Him and Derek have partnered into 2026, and they're trying to get into this men's health program because he's trying to lose some weight. I know that's one of his goals in 2026, his resolutions. They offer weight management, peptide therapy, and so many other things to help you feel balanced, energized, and back in rhythm. It's very personalized based on you. So they walk you through every step of the situation. And you don't even have to go see them in Springdale. They offer telemedicine across Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, so they can help you wherever you listen from. Visit VGAestheticsandwellness.com for more information. Morning Rush Daily Question when we come back.
Well, he's talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot. And, of course, Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
I'll face with you, guys.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of Beef. It'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Honestly, so it gets me away from football and just keeps my mind off the things.
This is the Morning Rush.
We're having a good old-fashioned family Christmas at Rath Auto Resources. Now through the end of the year, get up to $6,400 off retail value on your next road-ready certified pre-owned sleigh. Inspected, reconditioned, and backed by a comprehensive warranty. Really nice. Save up to $6,400 off your next family truckster, and we'll all have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com. Hallelujah. Where's the Tylenol?
Contractors, you know the right equipment makes all the difference. That's why you choose LG HVAC systems. Innovative, efficient, and built to perform. And at J&B Supply, we're more than just a supplier. Since 1968, our family-owned business has provided HVAC and plumbing pros with the products, expert service, and hands-on training to get the job done right. Check out the buzz around LG's new game-changing equipment today. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com, LIMBIRD.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, The original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of stress-free internet. Wave Rural Connect brings you our 300 internet with Wi-Fi, perfect for streaming, remote work, and holiday guests. No data limits, built-in cybersecurity, and easy control with our free Wave Connect app. All for just $71.95 a month. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 today. Wave Rural Connect, internet that works when you need it most.
When it comes to barbecue, nothing beats the Blue Ember way. At Blue Ember Smokehouse, we only serve fresh, prime meat that's been smoked low and slow over 100% wood fires. From tender brisket and fall-off-the-bone ribs to our family recipe sides, we serve up the kind of flavor that keeps you coming back for more. Dine in with friends, family, call in or order online for a quick pickup, or let us cater your next event, big or small. Find a location near you at blueembersmokehouse.com. Blue Ember Smokehouse. Fresh, prime, smoked.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question. All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
All right, so before we get into our Cart Pass Social Daily question, Doug at Mountain Home had a good question. He said the next couple of weeks is going to determine Arkansas's record in 2026 for football. Should we be concerned that they haven't had a bunch of players commit? Well, they can't commit technically. I guess they could but it's like that's not going to actually happen until the 2nd.
Yeah.
So Friday. And even like if you see guys come out, or I say commit to Arkansas and pick the Razorbacks, it's still a crapshoot. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean they might be names. Like, if you get Cam Coleman, everyone's going to be like, what? For those who don't know, that is a really good Auburn wide receiver. He's not going to Fayetteville. But that would be like, okay. But it's not going to happen.
Well, he'll fetch a high price that we probably shouldn't be spending on wide receivers.
Yes, I would agree on that. We don't have that. At least to our knowledge, that funds. All right, so how late are you staying up tonight? 877-377-6963. So for those that don't know, I'm in Houston, Texas this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at my
Here,
friend's.
all alone.
Yeah, my friend's, whatchamacallit, it's a duplex house, whatever. And unfortunately, another one of my beefs this morning is I'm having to do this show with a magna cum laude Texas A&M degree right behind me, which is, worthless.
Framing toilet paper on the wall.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. But like the idea of coming down here was to see Trio, and now apparently we're not doing that. So I
change of plans.
I was going to see Trio Revival tonight, apparently, but whatever.
It's a missed call, Ty.
Yeah, missed call on their part. But how late are you staying up tonight? Colt, you've obviously got a newborn. You've got a wife. Like, there's no reason for you to go out and about. How late are you? Are you making it to midnight, or are you?
I'm probably going to do the absolute very best that I can to make it to midnight, but I really don't think I have it in the tank, to be honest with you. My stamina levels, around 11 o'clock, 11:30. My eyes get real heavy. I'm not a big champagne guy anyway. So New Year's Eve, if you'd asked me this 4 or 5 years ago, I spent plenty of New Year's Eves at the, North 40 Club in Russellville or the Electric Cowboy or at a wedding or something like that. So I've had fun on New Year's Eve before, but now, like you said, with a wife and with a kid and being tired, no chance I probably make it to 12 o'clock. I'll try my best. I'll give it a valiant effort. Me and the wife are actually, we've pawned off the little guy to Mimi and Pops tonight. They're going to watch him and the rest of their grandkids, and me and my wife are actually going to go out and spend some time together, go see a movie and get some dinner tonight to ring in the new year. So after I'm full and I've watched probably whatever terrible movie she drags me to, I'm going to be pretty tired.
Jim in Conway texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline that he is staying up to watch Ryan Seacrest / Dick Clark's New Year's Eve, that he's going to take that in. That is not something I have really enjoyed. The college football being the playoff now on New Year's. I mean, you think about that epic game between Ohio State and Georgia, which ended like right around midnight a couple years back, where Ohio State missed that field goal. That's a tradition. Like, I don't want to be The place that I'm getting dragged to tonight is a cocktail bar, and I'm going to be severely hacked off if there is not a television or multiple televisions within my view, because the two morons that I'm going with tonight are going to be venturing out to try something, and their focus is on something else tonight. We all know what that is.
I think Hog Wild may actually have concluded what that might be as well.
Let's see. Oh, jeez Louise. I can't read that, man. That's like a Ruskin and Zach text. No, I don't spend time. I can honestly say, like, I don't like gentlemen's clubs.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
That's been established. You've made that known.
I don't know why we're going here. It is if they don't have TVs, I'm going to be hacked off tonight. But whatever.
Maybe this is the night though. New Year's Eve. Maybe you meet somebody. You know, that's like the start of High School Musical. That's how that happens.
I doubt it. Austin texting in from Bentonville. He's going to be in at 9:00 tonight. He's married. He has 3 kids, so he is not doing anything. It just doesn't this is maybe the most overrated holiday because you have all these heightened expectations about what the new year's going to bring. What
your resolutions.
Your resolutions that you fail within a week. Oh yeah. I think how some holidays are actually like Christmas, Thanksgiving. You get to see family. There's football, and I know there's football on tonight, but that's just it rarely lives up to expectation, and that's why again I said it earlier. I am a big advocate. I'm not necessarily an advocate for overseas weddings and destination ones, but I am a big advocate for New Year's weddings.
The problem with New Year's wedding. Go ahead, Ty.
Well, I was just going to say it gives everyone something to do. Fire away.
The problem with New Year's weddings is that you have to make sure that you are keyed in on when your start time is. Because if you start at 5, 6 o'clock and you say, hey, everybody stay for the ball drop, you have to entertain your guests for 6 hours, including a ceremony, including the food. And what are they going to do? You got to think about that. If you're going to make them stay for the ball drop, you might not want to start that wedding and that ceremony till 8, 9 o'clock.
Listen to this. So one of my best friends and his wife, who's also one of my best friends, they are attending a wedding. The reception concludes at 10. Which makes no sense. It's like if you're gonna do a New Year's wedding, you do it till at least 12.
Yeah.
Some text rolling in as we continue here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Holly in Bentonville says Ruskin and Zach are very wholesome. That's exactly what I would use when it comes to describing Derek Ruskin and Zachary Arns. Mason and Megan in Arkadelphia. I don't know if it's Mason texting or Megan texting. It's Mason. He's married with 3 kids, and the smart play is the fake ball drop around 9 o'clock with the kiddos and in bed by 10.
The Fugazi ball drop. That's so bad.
Is there like a kiddos version of that, like on Nickelodeon or Disney?
The Kids Bop ball drop?
Yeah, the Kids Bop ball drop where you just make and do that. Jeez Louise. Well, it's definitely a variety of textures that their plans tonight. Again, the most overrated holiday each and every year is New Year's Eve. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. I was actually texting with Christian and Nate last night about what they're doing in 2026. You know a place that's not overrated? That's Cart Pass Social, #1 place for indoor golf of all of Arkansas. I would encourage you haven't. Go to cartpasssocial.com. Go to their Facebook and Instagram. Nate's wife, Haley, does a fantastic job with all of their social media. And it's a really cool place. You can watch college football, NFL playoffs. Corporate events are a big thing for Cart Pass Social. In fact, there was a recent business in Northwest Arkansas that was trying to find what they're doing. Course Shades Group with their Christmas party, and they didn't know what they wanted to do until they found Cart Pass Social, and they were shocked at how cheap it was. Click on the events tab on Cart Pass Social. Christian and Nate will take care of you. It's always BYOB at Cart Pass Social.
That'd be a fun place to go tonight, Ty. They open?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I don't know if they ended up. I need to text them if they ended up renting. I think someone was in the midst of renting out the whole place.
Yeah,
I need to
that's
check
the
on
move.
That.
Rent out a place for a holiday like that and get the maximum effect.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. All right, back to our beefs here. What's your beef Wednesday, Richard's Country Meat Market. So we played Cal, what he had to say yesterday. Steve Sarkisian also had something, was going off about agents and whatnot. Colton, I'm dumb. Where's this clip?
I probably didn't even put it on there because I can't stand listening to him talk, but I'll find it for you. Keep going.
Okay. So Sark, let me just lay out what he says. he basically gets up there at the podium. It's the Cheez-It Bowl, right? I think it's the Cheez-It Bowl.
It is the Cheez-It Bowl,
yeah.
yep.
It's like one of the highest, if not the highest paid roster in college football. He's a top 5 paid coach, and they go 9-3 this year in the Southeastern Conference. Texas did not live up to expectations. He was given a quarterback with maybe the greatest genes of all time in Arch Manning, and it took him like 8 games to get Arch going. Unfortunately, it was the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Till he played Arkansas.
That had the best outcome. But I grow tired. Like, Cal, I don't have to agree with everything John Calipari says. Pretty much everything he said 2 nights ago I did agree with. But this tiresome argument of coaches complaining like this.
We've got to have our list of needs, our list of wants, and our list of luxuries. And then what's the dollar sign next to all that?
What do you think coaches are doing and telling their agents? Like Lane Kiffin's contract, Sark's contract. It's just like, it is so two-faced to say that publicly and then have all these demands privately for your own school as a college football coach. They don't like it because they don't have control.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have absolute control like they did prior to July 1st of 2021. And so it's just, it is so annoying when these coaches that a lot of them are paid, bloated salaries. It drives me nuts. And I try, like, again, it's a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I figured out I've got a pretty swell life. Like, I don't really have a reason to complain. I got good family. I got good friends. I got a good job. I enjoy working with Tommy, Colton, Christian, Phil, Matt, Ruskin, Zach, everyone, each and every day. And so when these coaches get up there and moan and cry, especially, the head coach of your most hated, it's quite annoying. So Steve Sarkisian at the top of my list here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. He's quite annoying. And I don't know why Texas fans don't have more beef with him based on the lack of success that they had this season.
I mean, wasn't he tied to the Tennessee Titans job earlier this season too? I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
Ty, he's sitting there needling his own personal agent to try and maximize everything.
100%.
It rules for thee and not for me. From a college football standpoint, now is just so much. It gets a lot more repugnant and hard to swallow because. Like we got a text earlier, I forgot who it was. I think it was Chris in Springdale that said that the cost of just all of college football is too expensive, and the biggest thing, like the biggest paycheck that makes the least amount of sense, is the coaches and their salaries.
Well, What's Your Beef Wednesday? Richard's Country Meat Market continues as we get into hour number 2. Richard Davenport is going to join us. Always enjoy catching up with RD. If you need something for the new year, maybe you have a New Year's party tonight and you want to do it the right way, well, Richard's Country Meat Market is your pit stop. You can go online right now to richardscountrymeatmarket.com. 479-443-0000 is where you'll find Richard, Chris, Audrey, and their team at Richard's Country Meat Market for the best burgers, kebabs, bacon wrap fillets. If it sizzles or smokes, they have it at Richard's Country Meat Market. 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville, right off College in the heart of Fayetteville, Arkansas. All right, so Kevin, hold on. We'll take your call as well in hour number 2. I'm sure there's a few more beefs that we can get into. Plus, there's some more clips that Colton has, including Kirk Cignetti talking about, what was it, the 2016 Rose Bowl? Is that what you said, Colton?
Well, Cignetti talking about the Alabama game coming up.
Okay.
And then the 2016 Rose Bowl. Just perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a lot to get to. Hour 2 is next. Final show of 25.
Fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. The Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences. Residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of Beef. It's whatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
This is the Morning Rush.
Winter has arrived, bringing frothy mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of stress-free internet. Wave Rural Connect brings you our 300 internet with Wi-Fi, perfect for streaming, remote work, and holiday guests. No data limits, built-in cybersecurity, and easy control with our free Wave Connect app. All for just $71.95 a month. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 today. Wave Rural Connect, internet that works when you need it most.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Want pavement protection that goes the distance? Seal-Tite of Arklahoma now offers Rhino-Tite Premium Asphalt Emulsified Sealant, the next level in driveway and parking lot care. Healthier for the environment, Rhino-Tite delivers superior defense against weather, UV rays, and wear and tear. With its high solids content, you'll get a smoother, stronger, longer-lasting driving surface. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a contractor buying in bulk, Seal-Tite has the products and support you need. Visit SealTiteOklahoma.com today and protect your pavement with Rhino-Tite.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our temperatures not quite as chilly, into the middle 50s, mainly clear mid-30s for New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, we should see sunny skies, a high right around 60 and back to near 60 with sunshine later Friday. Saturday, we'll see sunny skies, low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by COP CDL Academy. Want a life-changing career? Give them a call today at 479-632-1050 or check them out online at copcdlacademy.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 95.3.
Rules, these the rules. So if you put your name in the draft, I don't care if you're from Russia and you stay in the draft, you can't play college basketball. There aren't going to be any high school kids who, other than dumb people like me, are going to recruit high school kids. I get so much satisfaction out of coaching young kids and seeing them grow and make it and their family life changes that I'm going to keep doing it. But why would anybody else, if you can get NBA players, G League players, guys that are 28 years old, guys from Europe, do we really know their transcript? Do we have somebody over there? Do we really know their birth certificate? Again, real simple. You got 5 years to play 4.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Produced by Colton Little.
And all of a sudden, they'll start talking like this.
With Ty Richardson.
TV's in the living room since I don't live with a woman.
Hold on. This is The Morning Rush.
Final show of 2025. Final hour of 2025
Man.
of Morning Rush. Happy 50th to Tommy Kraft. He's back in 2026
50
as
years.
we do our best to finish out this year. You got to have the best hour that you have ever produced and co-hosted of your entire life. Can you do that?
That's an
for me?
incredibly low bar I think that I can achieve.
Well, likewise to the host. All right, let's take some calls here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday presented by Richard's Country Meat Market. Kevin's been patiently waiting in Rogers. Kevin, fire away. Last show of 25, man. What you got?
Hey, well, I was just calling, I've called a lot this year. I just want to thank you for the show, and I hope you all have a happy new year, Colton. Happy birthday to Tommy. And Ty, always enjoy talking to you and following you on social media. I believe it's going to be a pretty good spring for us with baseball and basketball and all that, so it should be fun. But while I'm on there, I'll comment. Hey, Cal hit it on the head. Let's be honest. You're 100% right about Sarkisian. He made himself look like a tool. And I really think Cal, he did. But let's talk about Cal. Well, Cal's biggest point, and he's 100% right. We all, ever since COVID, we've had all these extra years of eligibility. But the most important thing that he said, and I think this is really what gets him, is that if Carter Knox would have stayed in the draft and got drafted, he couldn't play. He couldn't go back to college.
Yep.
Let's be honest. That's the big thing. So he's right. He's right about that. And Cal says what he thinks, and he's a big figure. And, I've listened to, I've been on social media. I've watched SEC Network, ESPN, all the old coaches, old players. They agree with him. It's a problem, and he's right. It is a problem. So, I'm glad he's speaking out about it. I think what he did was he put a little bit of bait out there to see if the NCAA would respond, and they did, and they looked stupid.
Yeah.
That's what the president came out, and that guy's weaker than a piece of line that's broke. I think he really baited him a little bit, Cal, to see, okay, let's see what they say when we say this stuff, and look what happened. His response was just totally stupid. He admitted, no, you can't get in the draft and then go back to school, and then he made up some other thing about European players. He looks stupid, so you guys can comment on that. Excited, huge game Saturday. I think it's a must-win to start the year just because Tennessee's a big quad one opportunity. And I know it's a long year, but you're on the road 3 out of your first 5.
Yeah.
So, I believe it's a must-win on Saturday, a little payback from last year, and we've got a solid basketball team, so I'm excited to see how they go. You guys have a good New Year. Ty, you be safe tonight. You too, Colton. Take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin, thanks for the call. Always enjoy hearing from you. Couple things. One, we appreciate all of our listeners. Want to say that Kevin's on also there's the do not call list, and then there's the always answer list. Kevin's a part of that. I think we are going to have an exciting spring. I don't know if it's going to get into April, but definitely going to get into March. And I think this baseball, I hadn't talked to Lick of baseball. I kind of just listened to Phil for that. But I am curious with a new roster what DVH can assemble and do this next year. Lance is in Fayetteville. Lance, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys. I don't have a beef, but I'm kind of celebrating because we dodged a bullet with Alex Golish. That guy, I never liked him from the start. He threw a crybaby fit on the field at Tom Herman. Then he gets in a press conference and throws a crybaby fit about Jeff Traylor at UTSA, and then there was some kind of pushback crybaby fit about somebody in the Arkansas media said something that he didn't like about the coaching search. I don't know. So, but now he's been at Auburn for a little while, and so 27 players are leaving. They're getting the heck out, and they're not following Hugh Freeze because Hugh Freeze ain't going nowhere. So I think we dodged a bullet with that guy. I don't, and I look back on his he's got a little bit better record than Tad Morris had at SMU when he was at UCF. I mean, did he blow the world up at Tennessee? I don't remember that. Do y'all?
I will say he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
OC. Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt. I mean, that was the best offense Tennessee's had in decades.
During their volunteer resurgence,
and
he was pulling the strings. Yeah,
yeah. They haven't been as good since. His defenses aren't that good, Lance. Your point's well made. It is wild to see Cam Coleman's the biggest guy, but Auburn has had a mass exodus of players, and their fans are flipping right now.
Yeah, I mean, I respect your opinion on what he did at Tennessee. I don't remember it. Maybe I'm getting old, but anyway, again, Happy New Year. Go to the movies and let your wife take over what you're going to do. Man, go eat a burger at Art's Place,
Yeah, I might stop by, yeah.
Yeah, get a nice little Arts barbecue and burgers. Lance, Happy New Year, buddy. We appreciate you calling in. I think, you know what, and I don't know if this is going to end up being the case, but you know that gal that you courted in high school, and you're like, man, I want to marry this girl. This is the one I want. This is the one I want to end up with. You don't end up with her, and you start dating this girl. You're like, I don't know if it's going to work out, and you end up marrying her, and she's the mother of your kids, and she's awesome 20 years down the road. That's what you want Silverfield to be, because it was so funny. Like, Golish goes to Auburn, and Arkansas fans are pissed because you felt like you got a guy that his own fan base didn't want. But ultimately, he could be better for you. I don't know. I've been open. This is the least excited about it I've been about an Arkansas football hire in over a decade with John L., Brett, Chad, Sam, and now we'll see what Ryan Silverfield can do at the helm for Arkansas. All right, before we talk to RD, Brian's in Ozark. Brian, did I tick you off with the Sark comments, or why are you calling in this morning here on the Lewis Automotive?
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of funny, and I really hope Sark annoys every Arkansas fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 3 years, he's 34-8. Arkansas has never been 34-8. Silverfield will not beat Sarkisian. He's not even on the same level. And you'll see that when Arkansas goes back to Austin this year. So you guys have a Happy New Year, and you can only dream about beating Texas because it's not going to happen. You have a mid-tier coach with mid-tier players. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ryan.
Brian, what do we get if Arkansas goes into Austin in November next year and they win?
I don't know. We'll talk about that in August, but right now I'm not even worried about it.
All right.
It's like Texas playing the Ozark Hillbillies.
Well, y'all have fun.
That's
Y'all
how
have
bad
fun.
Arkansas is.
Okay,
You're going to get
Arkansas.
pogied today by Michigan, man. They're going to run all over you.
Here's a question to ponder. Brian's gone. When's the last time the AP #1 preseason has ended up in the Cheez-It Bowl?
The Cheez-It Bowl.
877. And I love Cheez-Its. I love Cheese Nips. I love Cheez-Its. I love Goldfish. But it's so funny. Like, Arkansas fans don't put themselves in the same category as Texas football. You're better in basketball, and I know Texas baseball had a swell of success years ago, but when you compare it lately, Arkansas's had a better baseball program. But we don't compare ourselves to Texas football since, like, what, the late 80s?
Mm-hmm.
And then you leave the conference, and I know you played a couple times since then. In the record, like, even in the last 10 times you played,
It's pretty
like,
close.
just off the top of my head, 2000, you beat the tar out of them in the Cotton Bowl. Then you went to Austin in 03 and won. So that's 2-0. You lost when you played them in 04, unfortunately, at home. You got drilled in Austin in 08. Then you won the Texas Bowl. So that's 3-2. Then you won in 21. You're 4-3 the last 7 games. Right? I think I have that right.
I don't know
So,
about the math, but Brian woke up feeling the cheesiest, and he needs to. It's over.
I
man.
mean,
It's,
you want to talk about a football team and program that was more hyped heading into a season, more revered, with maybe the greatest gene pool that's ever graced a college football field when you think about Arch Manning and his uncles and his grandfather being Arch, Peyton, and Eli, and for them to have Archie, Peyton, and Eli, for them to have the lack of success in 9-3 that they have, not even make the college football playoff. Like, worry about your own team. Worry about your own school. Because it's not in the best of shape right now. You had Jimmy Sexton, who is Steve Sarkisian's agent, have to put out a statement that Sark wasn't going over there. He had never done that before. He had to put that out. That's what Texas had to deal with this offseason. And oh, by the way, you got a top 5 paid coach, and you might have had the most expensive roster in all of college football for a 9-3 Cheez-It Bowl appearance. So congratulations. We didn't have any money. We don't have a great recruiting terrain. We didn't have a good coach. And we didn't have a good team. We know that. But at least we didn't spend all that for jack squat.
That's right. That's right.
Golly. All right, Richard Davenport coming up in just a bit. We're brought to you this morning by APAC and Standard Materials Group. Murray Klein over there at APAC and his team can help you out with whatever you need. Aggregates, asphalt, ready-mix concrete. They've got you covered. It could be a small residential project or a large commercial job. No job is too big or too small. You need expert advice? They have it. Call them, 479-587-3300 for your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300. Usually I'm not as fired up here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Brian delivered a little beef on a platter there for you.
Yeah, welcoming in our friend Richard Davenport this morning. Richard, what are we doing tonight, man? I know you're a big night on the town in Northwest Arkansas. What are the New Year's plans?
TV and football.
That's the way to go. Who wins tonight? Does Miami get revenge from 23 years ago, or does Ohio State move on to the semis?
I'll pull for Miami. Ohio State, not a fan of them. I mean, when Arkansas played them in the Sugar Bowl, went down there about a week before the game and interviewed kids, and my wife, Megan, went down there too. And the whole time, Megan's the type person, if you don't like her, you got some issues. She's the sweetest person on earth. Anyway, she interacted with Ohio State fans walking by and saying hello or what have you, and not one acknowledged her during that whole week.
Good grief. Well, yeah. And considering I've met your wife and she is like the salt of the earth, I'd be ticked off too. At Arkansas, think about this, RD. You think about the missed interception opportunity against Miami back in the 80s, and then that game you just alluded to, and after the 2010 season, you've had some heartbreakers. Tommy always, in this type of game, Tommy's always like, I'm rooting for the sinkhole. I'm rooting for the earthquake, but not necessarily a team you're cheering for in either game later on tonight. Richard, one of the things we've kind of kicked around this morning, again, Richard Davenport, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, is the idea, like, you got this game, Dallas, Miami, Pasadena, and these other bowl games. Why not move these college football games to neutral or to home venues? That would help attendance. Like, attendance is down Do you think that would be good for college football?
Well, obviously they're trying to keep the bowl games alive, and I get that. I really hate the whole thing going on right now with bowl games. They were always there, and they served their purpose for so long, and people appreciated bowl games, and now it's got to the point where now attendance is kind of going down, and it's been going down. To be honest with you, but at the same time, with the focus on the playoffs, it just seems like everybody's really more focused on that. But as far as go if you do the on campus thing, it kills the bowls, and I mean I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it. It's just hard for me to see the bowl games suffer like they are. But then you have some of the games like yesterday, Illinois and Tennessee, and last night TCU and USC. I mean, heck of a games. And anyway, I don't know. I really don't care either way. Well, if I had to side on one side, I would say keep involving the bowl games. I just go back to just being raised and watching bowl games all my life.
Richard, I know something you do care about is recruiting. Your job's changed pretty dramatically within the last 4 years, and on how recruiting is covered, stories are written, and really your time working now with the transfer portal and everything else. Is 2026 rolls around, you're right into it. What's ahead for Arkansas in this cycle, man?
Well, I mean, just like every other college, it's going to be going through the January 2nd through the 16th portal window. It's going to be very, very, very busy, very intense. Last year and the year before, you had about a three-week window in December for the portal to open, and you able to host kids for transfers for official visits, and then a 5-day window in early January. Now all that's all in that January 2nd through the 16th time frame now, and it's going to be pretty intense. Where you had those 2 opportunities last year to get kids on campus, you just have this one opportunity now, and you're trying to get say a kid that has 10, 15 schools trying to get him to visit. You're doing whatever you can to try to convince that kid to come visit your school, and obviously money's got to be involved. So it's going to be an intense time.
I think there's 12 guys, Richard, that have entered the portal thus far. Taven Wallace, Shaq McCroy, Justice Boone, one of the recent ones. Anyone on that list that you think hurts more than the others when it comes to Arkansas guys that have entered the portal?
I think Wallace is one. I mean, because he was pretty special coming out of high school. Arkansas legitimately beat out Georgia for him, and he was from Georgia. A lot of that was because of T. Will. His relationship with T. Will might be something to look at as far as his next destination is because T. Will is obviously at Texas A&M now. But I like J.J. Shelton. One thing that really stood out to me, especially the last few games, you're able to see more of him. Mm-hmm. You got more snaps. Was his outstanding speed. He had really great speed, and I think he's another one that I think could go on and have a really good career wherever he ends up. But those two to me really stick out the most, along with Shaq. But I think Shaq was kind of encouraged to go, and so it's each staff has their own evaluations and decisions to make.
Richard, I wanted your thoughts. Richard Davenport with us, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Link you. it seems like Arkansas is always changing things with NIL and what's going on behind the scenes. And I know we just got the official release and announcement yesterday, but maybe could you give fans a sense on what this new partnership looks like for Arkansas athletics and how it can help the football and other programs?
Well, I mean, obviously it's another avenue for fans to kind of contribute and hopefully help out the athletic program and most notably football because it's in order to compete, they're probably going to need $20 to $30 million as far as roster payments to the kids on the team. So everything's evolving. There's no rules right now. Everything's chaotic. So whatever you can do to try to help Arkansas, be competitive, that's a good thing.
Yeah, just trying to find different ways and avenues. Colton and I were talking yesterday. Tulsa's doing this Portal House thing, which is going to be like some video content and whatnot. You just want to be as innovative if you can if you're Arkansas. Richard, last thought before we let you go. Final interview and show of 2025. Cal had some pretty strong takes earlier this week, and then you have Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, put out a kind of an official statement. Is collective bargaining just inevitable, in your opinion?
It seems like it, but I'm not an attorney. Whenever I try to read up on this stuff and the pros and cons of each proposal that you see on social media, and especially from some of the attorneys on social media that are represent kids, schools, or what have you. And I don't know what the next step is, what needs to be done. But right now, if you looked at college athletics, and if you was going to say compare it to a patient in the hospital, it's in ICU. The whole thing is just so messed up, and it's just hard to put your brain around just how dysfunctional everything is right now. And like the coaches are saying, there are no rules. Tell us rules. What rules are out there?
How many times have you heard that? How many times have you heard that?
It's a mess. Absolute mess, man.
Oh, man. Richard, love you, brother. Appreciate you giving us time of your day every single Wednesday. And let's do it again in 26, okay?
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, Richard Davenport, the man, the myth, the legend. He's covered recruiting for decades here in the state of Arkansas. Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Conversation with Richard this morning brought to you by Sterling Bank. When it comes to banking, you deserve a pleasant and productive experience that puts you first. That's what you're going to find at Sterling Bank, your community bank right here in Northwest Arkansas. Top-notch customer service. Every transaction feels personal. It's not just your bankers, they're your friends, they're your neighbors, and they're deeply committed to businesses, organizations that make Northwest Arkansas thrive. Their passion and growth for progress fuels everything they do. So if you're looking for a new, local, friendly bank that fits your needs, visit Sterling Bank. They've got multiple locations: Fayetteville, Rogers, Bentonville, or learn more at stirbank.bank. That's stirbank.bank. Sterling Bank, invested in you, committed to Northwest Arkansas. SEC update when we come back. What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, rolls on next.
Well, he's talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot, and of course Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
I'll base with you guys.
I'd like to get a 36-year-old with 4 kids and hungry for a job. I'd like to get one of those guys. We'll see if one of those guys is available.
This is the Morning Rush.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. How about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the Perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Drink responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hi, this is former state representative and retired General Mark Berry. I've spent most of my adult life in defense of our great country. I've served as Arkansas's Secretary of the Military, Adjutant General of our National Guard, state representative for 2 terms, and now, after much prayer, I'm honored to be seeking the Republican nomination for State Senate District 26. I'm proud to be the only candidate in this race with a proven conservative record. I cut over $1 billion in taxes, voted to kick China off our farmland, kept men out of women's sports, and voted to increase teachers' pay twice. I have an A rating from the NRA, and I'm absolutely 100% pro-life. And you can bet I'm not voting to fund any prison in Franklin County, I promise you that. I'm a fighter, and with your support, I'll be your voice in Little Rock with strength of conviction and conscience to defend our shared values. On January 6th, I would be honored to have your vote. Together, there's nothing we can't do.
Paid for by Mark Berry for Senate.
Dad, the driveway looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At Mike Jr.'s Mow Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call Mike Jr.'s Mow Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowwash.com.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion. You know, every game is a dogfight.
About the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally it's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas. Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
The league last year was totally outrageous, okay? There were 4 or 5 teams that were so good. We were one of the 8 that were in there. We were pretty good too, but we weren't one of those 5. Just weren't. Now you got about 8 or 9 that are all within 3 or 4 points of each other. And they're good. They're just not the 5 of last year. But they're all within. So you're going to walk in, every game is a war. There's no, all right, we got this game. What?
So most of what was followed post John Calipari press conference Tuesday night was about the various things that he believes the NCAA is in the wrong for or not doing correctly or not fixing. But that, to me, like, not that any of the stuff he didn't say wasn't important. It's very important. But I just I listen to that. Like, the SEC's down a little bit. You're down in football, down in basketball, relative to being the best conference of all time last year. 14 teams, national champion. It's just like 14 teams in the tournament is absurd. I think this year, what did we set? We did this exercise a couple weeks ago, Colton. What did we set the conference championship winner at, 13.5?
Mm-hmm.
It's like 14 wins, maybe gets it this year, right at that.
I think
maybe
we said 14 wins was even really stretching it. Like, that'd be hard to achieve.
It's just like I know Vanderbilt, at least to my knowledge, is still undefeated, but they didn't play anybody. Alabama's got several losses on their schedule, but their gauntlet of non-cons is similar to what Arkansas's faced. The Razorbacks have gone up against 5 ranked teams already in non-conference, preparing you for this Saturday's matchup. I love that Cal threw them to the Wolves in the non-conference, because I think it's going to pay dividends come Saturday at 2 o'clock against the Vols.
Yeah, when you get tested like they have all season with teams that are in the Elite Eight last year, these big brand names, blue blood schools that have a lot of talent year in and year out, that it's going to translate to, when you're at Ole Miss on the road early on in the season and the game is tight, maybe you have a player in foul trouble and you have to draw something up. You've already been in a position like that. You've already experienced those things. And so for these freshmen right now who are becoming your go-to scorers, the core of your team, and Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff, getting them that experience is invaluable. It's very, very important. I think Coach Cal knows that. I think Coach Cal knows that with all of these guys year in and year out, there's a limited window in which they're going to be soaking up all this information like a sponge, trying their best to have a good output on the court. And I do know one thing. The SEC, like you said, is not quite as strong as it was last year, same as it was in football. But
Cal said like 12 teams maybe this year.
Yeah.
It ain't 14.
People said, and people, what's the moniker with the SEC? It just means more. Well, I think that because of a run of dominance in basketball last year, all those football national championships that they had, that big run for the better part of the last decade, people expect that every single year out of the SEC. In football, obviously, it's a great baseball conference, but it just means more. That's really not just about like how well and how competitive teams are. It's about the fan base. So I think sometimes the SEC's expectations are obviously a little bit heightened. I'm not one that really honestly, gets up there and stumps for the conference. I won't join in the SEC chant, but I do think that Coach Cal is on to something when he talks about how, look, it may not be 14, but there's still going to be 12 teams. There's still there's still a bunch of really good teams in this league. Last year was kind of just a fluke, but regardless, it's going to be really tough, and I'm glad that they've played those non-conference games like you mentioned, Ty, because they're going to need that experience.
Oh, I'm stumping against the SEC.
Yeah, you want to come out on top.
Yeah, I listen. I'm all in on Indiana beating Alabama.
You know about the Bama mystique. How do you convince the players that you're playing this team? You're not playing all that tradition.
You probably know more about the mystique than they do. Our guys just know what they see on tape.
His post games, his media sessions are funny. You think about that game tomorrow and listening to different coaches talk about it over the years. You think about Keith Jackson. You think about Brent Musburger.
Nothing, folks, signifies a new year like the Rose Bowl with its pageantry framed by the beautiful San Gabriel Mountains.
That is cool. I will give the Rose Bowl that. I still wish this game was in Bloomington, Indiana, of all places, but it's really hard to beat the Rose Bowl and the setup. And that's the game of the, and I keep saying weekend. It's not the weekend, but even though it feels like a weekend because some people are going to be off Friday in addition to later on today and then tomorrow, it's Alabama and Indiana. It's the game of the quarters. It might not be that's the most intriguing game to me, even though it's not the primetime game, which is in New Orleans with Ole Miss and Georgia, Colton.
Mm-hmm. I think this is probably one of the biggest games of the year that I've been looking forward to the most, outside of obviously watching the Arkansas Razorbacks and a few other games. just because of the fact that, it's like they talked about in the Signetti clip right there. There's always that mystique about Alabama. I mean, you can still see Paul Bear Bryant, roaming the sidelines in the houndstooth hat, barking out signals. Obviously, the greatest coach in college football history, Nick Saban, is still a huge face of the game. Alabama's brand and what they've done, especially with the recent comeback win against Oklahoma, it's as strong as it's ever been. Now, they're not quite the same as the Alabama teams of the past in terms of dominance on the win and loss column. They're still churning out draft picks. They're still having their pick of whatever 5-star they like from, however big their recruiting radius they want it to be. And Alabama's still really, really good. And like we talked about in the first hour, Ty, Indiana had like 55 years of losing seasons since the last time they've had any relevance, or whatever it was specifically that statistic was the fan talked about on our opening drive. I mean, Indiana football has been bad, like bad, historically bad for all of history. So it's definitely an intriguing matchup now because of how Indiana has risen to prominence. And I'm going to have my eyes glued to this one because, like we saw in Norman, Alabama was able to storm back whenever the odds were stacked against them and the scoreboard was not in the Crimson Tide's favor. And like we talked about with Signetti in that clip, he is ice cold, confident, and teams take on the attitude of their head coach, and the Hoosiers have certainly done that. So it's going to be, like you said, Ty, definitely the best game of the quarterfinals, if not one of the best college football games of the year, I think, on Saturday.
All right, other news in your SEC update. SEC
Thursday
continues to lose football games in the postseason.
The 2025 season was a team that beat two bowl games back-to-back against SEC teams. I think SEC is now 0-4, and we'd be 5-0 in the Big Ten.
So Brett Bielema had some fun with that. Illinois takes down Tennessee in the Music City Bowl yesterday, 30-28. Postseason-wise, has not gone great for the SEC. If you're an SEC apologist, you really need the Alabama Crimson Tide to win that game tomorrow. Georgia and Ole Miss, one team's going to be out after that, but it's not been good. And then final thing here in your SEC update, I saw you added this. I was actually listening to one of my buddies that does radio talking about this yesterday. So Ole Miss right now on their staff has 6 LSU assistants, including Charlie Watts, who's calling plays. I think the term "ride it till the wheels come off" stands out. Like, the wheels may come off in Oxford, but you have the best chance to win with Weiss and those 5 other assistants helping out. And you can make a debate like Lane Kiffin would be the best thing for this football team right now, but I don't want to initially have that discussion because I feel like we already did. Kiffin's probably going to be at this game tomorrow with Governor Landry in New Orleans. I mean, this is just for Ole Miss to be playing in the Sugar Bowl of all venues is just a perfect cherry on top of the cupcake.
I mean, script writers were obviously in their bag with this one. I've said that before. Once again, I mean, you can't put it any better than that. To be playing that game in New Orleans, like you said, and Lane Kiffin to be sitting there with what is his new little sidekick and Governor Jeff Landry, who's basically just a living cartoon, an extra from the Swamp People. It's going to be really, really entertaining if any of them get any TV time other than Lane Kiffin. I don't think anybody should put a microphone or a camera in front of the governor, but Ty, you said it. I think LSU and Ole Miss and this whole flip-flopping, all this transition of everything they're doing with coaches, it seems to me like they have put the kids first in this situation outside of Lane Kiffin, who put maybe his own kids first and maybe his own thoughts into it. Obviously going to LSU for more money, all the power that comes with being, the big bishop there in Baton Rouge. I think that for the sake of the kids trying to win a championship, them competing, them having that experience, some of those coaches probably decided to stay and finish the job. Like you said, ride it till the wheels fall off. And so in a world where college football has, has put tradition and kind of put it on the back burner, thrown it in the trash, buried it deep under, boxes, or in this case, bags and bags and bags of money. I think that this is a good thing, that whenever the players and the people that are actually out there sacrificing their body, their ability to do anything at all by putting themselves at risk with every play, I think that when you put them first for a situation like this, it is a good reflection of some of the good things that we still have in college football. Georgia and Ole Miss was a great game earlier in this season. I'm hoping it's just the same. And, Trinidad Chambliss had mentioned earlier this week in some of these media coverage before this game, and him and Lane Kiffin really hadn't talked to each other, but I wonder what Lane Kiffin would be saying to Chambliss right now.
Yeah, that's a question we might not never know when it comes to the head coach and the quarterback of Ole Miss. All right, that is your SEC update. By the way, the only likable quarterback in Ole Miss of recent memory.
Yeah.
When you look at Dart, Corral,
Bo Wallace.
Bo Wall, Chad Kelly. I mean,
Chad Kelly.
he's so likable. Like, I don't know how you can't stand. Like, same with Mendoza. Like, those kids are so fun. One of them plays for a school I despise, and yet I watch him play and I listen to him, and I'm like, man, I really like this kid. All right, that's your SEC update here this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Rath Auto Resources in Rath, Mitsubishi. Our friend Larry and our friend David joined us yesterday. They're kind of doing a little battle royale of sorts between. Listen, both places are great. It seems like we're talking about an award that Larry and his team won every single year for Rath Auto Resources, and David and his team at Rath Mitsubishi do a great job as well. They represent you on both sides of the tunnel, so if you're in Northwest Arkansas, David and his team can help you. And then if you're south of the tunnel, Larry and his team can help you. It's not like you can't go through the tunnel if there's a specific vehicle at either location that you want. But I can personally attest to how much they care about Arkansans and care about doing things right. Meineke Car Care Center, been in there a few times, and just the walkthrough that Philip, Tanner, all the guys do step by step. I think that's really important when it comes to what you have at a dealership, a great car care center. And they've got two of them at both locations. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. You're always rolling with Rath Auto Resources and Rath Mitsubishi. All right, so staying within the kind of framework of the college football playoff, this is kind of a fun thing. There's so much like tactics, like questions about matchups and everything. So every once in a while, you just want to get a little lighthearted and talk about Legos, like Ty Simpson was discussing yesterday.
My favorite ones, I had Stark Tower, which it took me about 3 days to do that over spring break. So that one, and then I have The Office. I think The Office in a glass case. Those are my two favorite. And I really enjoy it just because it gets me away from football, and it gives me stuff to do with a structure about it. And not only that, but I can put it up and use it as a decoration or something like that. So I love Legos, honestly. So it gets me away from football and just gets my mind off of things.
You've obviously got a young buck now that can't necessarily play with the toys he's going to be playing with.
Choking hazard.
Yeah, later on in life. But what did you, and I don't want to hear video games, that's lame, but what did you play with it? Was it G.I. Joe's? Was it Legend? What did you play with growing up?
Ty Simpson hit it right there on the nail on the head. I was a big Lego guy, so much so that I still get Legos every year occasionally for Christmas. I got some this year. Now they have, Legos had a big resurgence here recently with the more like adult sets. They have, more things that are decorative, things from TV shows and movies like Ty Simpson mentioned there with The Office and with Stark Tower from the Avengers from Marvel. So I was always a really big Lego guy, so much so, Ty, that whenever I was grounded as a kid, my mother wouldn't take away but she wouldn't take away my video games, Ty. She wouldn't take away Madden. She wouldn't take away, the Game Boy. She wouldn't take away anything like really like that. And I still had those things occasionally. She might take those if I was being extra mischievous. But when she took away my Legos, and she took away, Ty, she didn't take away all of my Legos. She only took the ones that she knew I favored the most. All the important ones, all the cool ones, all the guns. They were like all the minifigures. They didn't have any heads, so it was just, they were kind of actually, disturbing in a way, but it was mostly Legos with no heads, mostly just the little blocks, none of the guns, none of the cool spaceships that I had built, none of the animals, nothing fun about Lego, just blocks. And my imagination can only stretch so thin. For me, I was always a big Lego guy, and then eventually I figured out, video games were a lot more fun.
Yeah, video games are a good time. I only got an hour of screams a day, which at the time ticked me off, but in reality, I'm glad my dad did that all these years later.
He helped you learn, be well educated.
Yes, and do stuff outside, which is important. B couldn't afford Legos. He was a Lincoln Log champion.
Love a good Lincoln Log, yeah.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun. I love those things. I was going to say, and I just got a set of them in my stocking for Christmas. What's the thing you build up and you take the blocks away?
Jenga.
Loved Jenga growing up, but I actually, speaking of a resurgence, like Pokemon cards, loved those back in the day.
Card trading is huge right now.
Wish I would have kept them because they're worth a lot of money. Tell you another thing.
I had some sick Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I walked into my bonus sister and bonus brother-in-law's house, and I see my middle niece playing Beyblades, which I thought had been
That's
eliminated.
sick.
And now these Beyblades are a little lame because they don't have the sharp edges that ours used to have, and the dangers where you could cut your finger and stuff like that. They're very kid safe now, but Beyblades were something.
Well, at least
that
they're
I
into
did.
Beyblades and not Labubus. You know what a Labubu is, Ty?
No,
I really don't either. It's like a little stuffed monster creature. It's basically just an accessory on a keychain, but kids are crazy about them. So Beyblades are cooler than Labubus.
They are. There's definitely some more. We got Clark, who's listening in Fayetteville this morning. He agrees with Ty Simpson, the Legos thing. That was
Legos
his
are
favorite.
dope. Fun fact for you, Legos, the Lego company is one of, if not the largest producer of tires in the entire world.
How about that?
Yeah. Depends
How
on
about
what
that?
your definition of tire is. It has to be kind of loose.
Well, I'll tell you something I used to love as a kid was fishing with my dad, and we used to go to our farm right outside of Morrilton, and that was just a fun experience. And if you're looking to maybe do something father-son related or grandpa and grandson or grandkids, Gaston's would be a great place. It doesn't have to be a father. It could be a group of guys. It could be a group of gals. My parents like to go. They don't even fish, but you can give Gaston's call at 870-431-5202. I've heard that number so many times I don't even have to look it up. 870-431-5202, Gastons.com. Clint and his team do an awesome job posting videos and photos and just seeing what the experience is like at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Everybody's talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot, and of course Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
I'll face with you, Ty.
How many we get in last year? I'm not sure it'll be 14, but I bet you it's 12.
This is the Morning Rush.
You know what's underrated? Having choices. Like, imagine not being able to choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell. Imagine you couldn't get a box of classics for $5, or faves for $7, or a lavish feast for $9. Now with cheesy dipping burritos and creamy garlic sauce. Good thing all those choices are, like, actually real. So instead, imagine which you're gonna get. Choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the Paint Store in Van Buren. The Paint Store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The Paint Store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The Paint Store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the Paint Store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your vehicle safety systems do more than you think. Cameras, radar, and sensors all working to protect you. After a repair, those systems need calibration to stay accurate. That's why Evans Body Shop now offers in-house ADAS calibration. The same precision technology trusted by top automakers gives us the ability to recalibrate safety systems in-house to factory standards. No guesswork, no outsourcing, just accurate OEM-level calibration to restore your vehicle safety and performance.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Remember you live Everglades.
The worldwide leader in sports.
It was her first ball game with my wife, and we ended up on that field. We were in section 104.
Brother, you just turned the light bulb on. You gotta go with somebody. At least I go with a winner.
Tommy, they're great.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
All right, not only is it New Year's Eve, it's the final show of the Morning Rush at 25. It's also Tommy Kraft's 50th birthday. So, like JT in Hot Springs, make sure you wish him a happy birthday here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It's also a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. All right, Colton, we were just talking during the break about having fun tonight. We're going to both do it in our different ways. You're going to get some sleep. I'm going to be a moron. You think there's any odds on the Oakland Sports app about me getting a New Year's Eve kiss tonight? Are they like plus 1 million?
No.
Maybe higher?
Not a
What would you set 'em
million.
at?
Are you even going to put yourself in a position? Are you just...
They're based on the knuckleheads that I'm here with that live here. There's going to be some opportunities that they
plus
they-
6,700? You're not going to try. You just keep it... Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, keep it holstered.
if you actually want to make a bet that's worthwhile, you can do it on the Oakland Sports app. You can also use Oakland Anywhere to bet on horse racing. And that's the great thing about it. There's so much that you can bet on nowadays with different things in sports, and also like the racing season. I don't know if there's anything better than racing season, because with Oakland Anywhere, you can just go to bet racing on bet.oakland.com. You can download the app in the Apple App Store. New members even get a sign-up bonus of $200. You earn points for cash back on every dollar wagered. So I got Lane Whitman a little bit yesterday. I know he's really excited for horse racing to be back. It's the Oakland Anywhere app and the Oakland Sports app. Listen, you can do it all with Oakland. That's why we're lucky to have them right here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. All right, as we conclude here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, one of the frustrations I have in an event. So I've never won our fantasy football championship in the league over the decade. It's pretty degrading as the sports guy that I've never won. I don't have to sleep outside for 3 days. That award is divvied up to my buddy Colin. But the guy that won it doesn't know football from a frittata.
Yeah.
He's so dumb when it comes to football knowledge. It's like when your mom wins the NCAA tournament bracket challenge based on picking the mascots.
Oh, yeah. Or the
That's
colors,
him.
yeah.
That is him in a nutshell. That's my conclusion of a beef here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I've got to figure out how to win this fantasy football league.
I got
at
some grief about that too this year. Now, recently, being here with ESPN Arkansas now, they expect me to just have the same amount of insider knowledge and everything. But I can't help it if a guy tears his ACL. Okay, that's not on me. And my team can't perform. That's not on me either. Always a beef tie fantasy football. Yeah, I got you. But hey, last segment of 2025.
Yes, and it was pathetic, like the rest of the shows I led multiple points this year. Appreciate everyone joining us today here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Richards Country Meat Market. Always happy to talk about Richard, Chris, Audrey, and the team over there. RichardsCountryMeatMarket.com, right off College Avenue off Rolling Hill Drive in Fayetteville. For Colton Little, Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. We'll see you in 26. We've got college football bowl games for you here on ESPN Arkansas.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options. Colorado for maximum thump, Willow